AEW Double or Nothing was last night, and it was a great show. A lot of matches, a lot of stuff happened on the show. We had some surprises, some really interesting stuff happened, some title retentions, the winners of both the men's and women's Owen Hart Foundation. And yeah, we're going to be very interested to see where we go coming to All in Texas in about a couple of months here. So, going to be really interesting to see what they do coming forward with this after the results of this show. But overall, I thought it was a solid show, and we're going to get right into it. Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Review channel, where we're going to break down AEW Double or Nothing. As always, I'm Mike, with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by the wrestling aficionado, Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, overall, what did you think of Double or Nothing 2020?
So definitely, it's pretty much everything we can expect out of an AEW show. A few too many matches. A couple of them probably didn't need to be on this. It's something I would like AEW to figure out because there were definitely a few matches, and I'll mention it as we get to them, that could have been on just like Dynamite. They didn't have to be on a PLE, or I'm sorry, a pay-per-view for AEW. And I don't know. I just we got our Anarchy in the Arena. We got all that stuff. So it was. I don't think it was the best Double or Nothing we've seen, but it definitely wasn't the worst.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So there were some pre-show matches, but let's kick right actually let me just quickly cover the pre-show matches. So the first buy-in was Anna Jay and Harley Cameron versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Cameron and Jay defeated Bayne and Ford, and then there was another buy-in match as well, which was an eight-man tag. Fox Bandito, Commander, and Hologram defeated Leo Rush, Andrade, Romero, and Beretta.
If
Um,
if you have a chance, watch that match. Our fans out there, they all of those eight men left it in the ring in that match. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it, so that's why I was hoping you would give a little bit of a take on it. I kind of got to Double Nothing a little bit late because I was also watching NXT. Um, so with that, the main card opened up with Mercedes Hogan versus Jamie Hayter, and this was, for the women's Owen Hart Championship, and obviously, Mercedes Hogan won, and I was just super disappointed in this. I mean, I didn't think that Jamie Hayter honestly had any kind of chance, and it seems very clear the direction that they're going with this, that Mercedes Hogan is going to be the one to take the title off of Tony Storm. Spoiler alert, Tony Storm did retain a little bit later in the show. But I've said it numerous times on this channel. I don't care for Mercedes at all. The match itself was fine, I mean, I give Jamie Hayter is awesome. She's a great wrestler. But I don't care for Mercedes at all. I don't think she's a good wrestler. I don't think she's a good promo. I don't think this match was good at all.
So another match where it's a foregone conclusion because AEW wants Mercedes Moné, or as we like to call her, Mercedes Hogan, in their big money matches. I, for the life of me, don't understand it. We're pretty not. We try to be pretty non-biased on this channel, but we tend to agree when it comes to Mercedes that she is not a great wrestler. Her promo skills need work, and she's kind of dangerous in the ring. The end of that match, she kind of spiked Jamie Hayter's head into the ground, and it definitely looked on the dangerous side. I get AEW sees that Tony Storm versus Mercedes is where the money's going to be at All In. But I really hope that they make the right decision and have Tony retained. At this point, Mercedes Hogan's downfall needs to begin, and she needs to start losing some of those belts. I know she lost one, but that needs to continue. I really think that AEW made a mistake during the Owen Hart championship run, or during the run, by having Athena lose to her. I think Athena should have been one of the ones to beat Mercedes.
I completely agree with that. I love Athena. I think she's excellent. And I think it would have been a lot better if, Athena had made this final spot. And then it would have, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is the big money match for your All In Texas show to have the two of them there. I get it. Mercedes is a draw, but I still think she's garbage. I don't care for her politicking at all. I don't really care for her much as a person. And I kind of think she's a complete garbage, unsafe wrestler.
100% agree with you there.
Um, Yeah, so we'll kind of just move right off of this one. The next match we had was Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness versus FTR. What did you think of this match?
Um, Obviously, anything with FTR in it is generally going to be a pretty damn good tag match. The story was what we you would have expected going in. You have a well-established heel tag team going up against two guys who have never tagged before,
Mhm.
and that's what ultimately led to the win. They took McGuinness out on the outside. They took Daddy Magic out off of the ringside and were able to keep the ring clear until Garcia passed out in the ring. I do like that they had him pass out rather than tap out. It definitely doesn't make him look as weak by doing that. And I have a feeling that this leads to FTR versus a returning Cope, or as we still call him, Edge,
And
and Christian teaming up at All In.
yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, I think I love the Shatter Machine. I think it's such a cool finisher. I really,
Yep.
really enjoy that. But yeah, this the only thing I would say like negative about this match was it seemed to go on a little long. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I mean, a lot of AEW matches tend to go on long, but this one seemed like it went on particularly long. But I mean, overall, you're right, I agree with you. FTR is an excellent tag team, and I'm very interested to see them versus Cope and what's his face, Christian.
Christian.
Yeah. The next match was the stretcher match between Crazy Mark Briscoe and Andrew Tate. And this one was pretty awesome. This one was a bloodbath. And I mean, they pulled scissors out and were stabbing each other in the head. And I mean, it was a very good physical match. And it definitely, Ricochet needed to get the win here. And Ricochet getting the win was the right call here. A lot of fun like a lot of fun spots here. Ricochet really played up to the crowd. And, you know, uh, Mark Briscoe, God bless his soul, like he just loves to bleed all out of his forehead, just all over the place. Like he looked nuts with some of the spots there, and I loved when Ricochet was just stabbing him in the face with the scissors. Like that was ridiculous. But yeah, overall excellent match. I enjoyed the crap out of this one a lot. What did you think?
Why they called this a stretcher match when they should have just called it first degree murder is beyond me. And I don't know that there's anybody in AEW who bleeds more than John Moxley, but Mark Briscoe is trying really hard to take that title. Um, and like, I mean, hell, that froggy bow through the table that he did was incredible. I love that Ricochet won with a spirit gun. You don't normally see that.
Mhm.
And when when Briscoe got the scissors away from Ricochet, and then Ricochet went into the ambulance and appeared with more scissors, it was like a never-ending scissors match. And you only normally expect to see that out of a Tony Storm match. So
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This was probably one of the matches I enjoyed the most on the whole card. I thought it was excellent. I like Ricochet, even though, I could do without his internet shenanigans, but like
yep.
overall, I enjoyed Ricochet very, very much. This was an excellent match. The next match was the AEW World Tag Team title match between Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus the Hurt Syndicate. Um, I mean, what more can I say about Bobby Lashley? I think he's awesome. Dude delivers the best spear on the planet, and I think he looks like $1 million. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Biggest fumble ever by WWE to let him go. MJF kind of briefly did try to get involved several times, to kind of hit Dustin with the ring, and I mean, obviously the Hurt Syndicate got the win. They retained their title. I love the resurgence from Shelton Benjamin here as well. I'm really loving that the AEW fans are giving him his flowers a little bit, and really, it seems like a second renaissance for him with it for his career. And I like that a lot. I like Shelton Benjamin. He's a good dude, and I think that this match was fantastic.
Um, this is one of the matches I was alluding to at the beginning of the show when I said that there were a few matches on here that felt like they didn't need to be on the pay-per-view. This could have been the main event of a Dynamite.
Yeah,
This didn't have to be on this pay-per-view. We all knew that Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes, regardless of how talented the two of them are, were not winning this match. And as of right now, I don't really see anybody outside of maybe FTR who could pose a legitimate threat to the Hurt Syndicate's title reign, unless it's MJF costing them the belts.
yeah.
And like you said, seeing WWE's fumbling of Bobby Lashley deserves its own show from us at some point because I've I don't think we've seen them mess something up that badly since Kevin Nash and Razor and Scott Hall left the WWE. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Like, when's the
Yeah.
last time we saw somebody be allowed to leave the way that they let Lashley just leave?
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed Shelton Benjamin, even when he was part of the Minnesota whatever crew with Brock Lesnar back in the day.
Oh
And
my God.
I love seeing him get his second win here, and now that he's past a midlife crisis or whatever he's at.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, this was one that there was no doubt what the outcome was, and I think they could have saved a little bit of time by having this on Dynamite. But it was a great match regardless.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to point out, I actually think that the next match absolutely could have been a TV match. I mean, it was awesome, but we're going to go into the match between Speedball Mike Bailey and Kazuchika Okada. I get it. You want to have Okada on a premium pay-per-view because Okada's awesome, and but there was no chance Mike Bailey or Speedball Bailey was winning this match. Zero chance because they're
No,
obviously building towards that Okada Omega match at the Texas show. And I mean, Speedball is awesome. I mean, he has a ceiling though, I think. And I think his ceiling is going to kind of always be the mid card. He will never be like a top guy. I mean, he looks like $1 million when he is wrestling. He can do all of the moves and that flip what was that thing that he did, that shooting star press that he did like on the apron was ridiculous. Like what a spot that was. But there was never a doubt in my mind that Okada was not going to win this match. And it definitely seemed like for a lot of this match too, this was kind of like the low spot for the crowd too. Like the crowd didn't really seem like they were that into this match.
which is crazy to me because I don't know what Speedball did to Okada, but I haven't seen Okada look this good in a while. Like he definitely brought he made Okada bring his A game this match, even though, like you said, there's no way that Bailey was winning. And I'm not really a big Speedball fan, but he's starting to win me over with the quality of the matches he's having. And but we all know that this is much like Mercedes and Tony Storm is what they want at All In. We all know that we want that rematch between Omega and Okada for probably a title unification at
Yeah,
that
I
point.
think so.
Um, and it's going to be that is going to be an absolute. I'll throw money at that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good match. The next match we had on the card was for the AEW World Women's Championship between Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, the internet's love crush.
Like, my
The
God, what gross.
the story of this match was Tony Storm's bum knee, which really Mina kind of focused on for a lot of the match. And this was a great match. I mean, I think Tony Storm is really, really good in the ring. It's going to be a shame when Mercedes Hogan beats her for the title. But these two obviously had a ton of chemistry together. And, Mina hit all of her moves, and a lot of the match was really spent focusing on Mina going after Tony's bum knee. Obviously, Tony Storm did get the win. Um, and they kind of had like a really sort of a cutesy happy ending there where they both kind of embraced and locked lips after the match was over. And then Mina kind of was like kissing her knee almost to like make up for all the damage that she had done to it after the fact. We didn't see Mariah May return here, which is interesting, and this is kind of the spot that everybody thought she might come back, and it seems like she's probably WWE bound at this point. But what did you think of this match?
I feel like Mariah May not showing up here because this is 100% the part where it would make sense. Tells us that she's got to be WWE bound. She has to be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And I will say, besides the assets that Mina Shirakawa brings to the ring, she's a pretty damn good wrestler too. Um, and for as gross as the internet is, we'll try to look at it from an actual wrestling side of things.
Yeah.
The match itself is great. I mean, these two have good chemistry from the matches they've had in the past, and Tony Storm can put on a match with pretty much anybody. And I don't quite put it up to the same fumbling as we do with Bobby Lashley, but WWE fumbling Tony Storm is a story of its own as well.
Yeah. Next, we had the craziest match of the evening, which was the Anarchy in the Arena match between the Death Riders and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega, Willow Nightingale, Swerve Strickland, and the Ops. This match was insanity. And I mean, there was so much going on in this match. I can't even begin to talk about all the spots, but I mean, there were staples being put into people's mouths. There was thumbtacks that were put into Kenny Omega's mouth. They did at one point in time jam all of the Death Riders into an ambulance. They put, I think it was Kenny Omega went through a table that exploded. There were just a ton of like really inventive spots. Samoa Joe didn't initially come out when this match started, which kind of like led to, some not heat, I would say, but just like a couple of interest, like something interesting between Swerve and Omega, where they were just kind of like, well, where is he? Like, why isn't he coming out? But and then the Young Bucks obviously had their ridiculous entrance as well, where they calling themselves the founding fathers now, and they came out in like Revolutionary War sort of like attire, which was interesting to
Weirdo.
see as well. Um, I did very much enjoy that AEW paid the money to have Bodies by Drowning Pool as well for the song that kind of played on loop for about 3 or 4 times before the speaker exploded. And there was also a really awesome spot where Claudio got Swerve into the swing, and he thought he was just gonna kind of like keep him going around, but then he just tossed him into like it looked like a box or something like that. And I was like, Swerve's dead. He's just completely dead. So yeah, this match was just nuts. Like it was just absolutely nuts from top to bottom. But what did you think of the match and then the outcome of the face team winning?
So they don't lie when they say it's anarchy in the arena. They definitely do bring the insanity. I'm surprised that the face team won. We really thought, both you and I thought that the heel team was going to win here, to give credibility to that heel team.
Mm.
We can't forget that Hook made an appearance during this match, but didn't really want to interact with Samoa Joe, so I'm curious to see where that's going to go. And then like that winged angel from Omega to whichever one of those young bucks through the exploding table was awesome. And then Swerve thumbtack stomping the other buck in like the face was pretty gross. I mean, Mox trying to murder Hobbs with a fork, like, and I for the life of me don't understand why Swerve loves having things stapled in his mouth or like injected in his mouth. The man is batshit crazy. Like, ah, I don't know. Anarchy is the perfect word to describe it. I still don't think it was the smart move by having the faces win. But I guess we'll have to see where that goes. And but the match pretty much gave everybody what they wanted: insanity, violence, blood.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was a spot where Mox was stabbing Powerhouse Hobbs with a fork for like the first like 10 minutes of the match. It's like ridiculous. I love Powerhouse Hobbs. He looks like $1 million. He's like one of my favorite big men like in wrestling. The next match was, in my opinion, probably the most unnecessary match on the show. Like, I don't even
Yep,
think that this needed to be on here at all. Like, this absolutely could have been a TV match, which was the Paragon, or better known as Undisputed Era 2.0, versus the Don Callis family. And the Don Callis family did pick up the win here. I honestly missed most of this match, so I'll let you kind of speak to it. What did you think of this match?
it was a cool down match. It was 100% what it was. But for to give the crowd a little bit of a break before the main event, um, all I can think of, because I didn't really catch most of this one myself, I watched the highlights afterwards, is that this is being used to set up probably Kyle Fletcher versus Adam Cole for his title.
Yeah, I think that probably makes a lot of sense. Um, yeah, I don't really have much more to add to this because I really
Oh,
honestly missed most of this match. But I mean, it seemed like fine, but again, I just think that this should have been left for Dynamite or Collision.
the only thing to add is that after the Don Callis family won and they were beating down the faces, a whole bunch of the Japanese guys came down, which no doubt is a tease for Forbidden Door.
Yeah. So this led us to the main event, which was for the Owen Hart men's tournament final between Hangman Page and Will Ospreay. And surprisingly, Hangman Page picked up the win here, so he is going to be going on to face John Moxley at All In this July at the Texas show. I mean, these guys tore the house down. I mean, this match will probably be in the conversation for match of the year. Absolutely outstanding. Paige went for the buckshot lariat a couple of times and it got countered into a stormbreaker. I mean, it was just absolutely ridiculous. These guys just rocked it from top to bottom. And I like that Osprey tried to use what's his face's Kenny Omega's one move as well, the V trigger, which was really
Yep.
kind of cool. But I absolutely love that buckshot lariat move. I think it is one of the coolest moves like out there.
How about the Styles Clash from the apron?
Oh, through that table? Yeah, that
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
Um, I think it was a fantastic match. I think this cements Hangman Page's face turn back to officially being a full-on face. Osprey left everything in the ring, but like I mentioned during our predictions, I think Page winning makes sense because then you have the Cowboy in Texas. Um, I think this still leads to the Moxley problem though, and I think Moxley retains in Texas, and Osprey ends up winning the title in England.
That Forbidden Door?
Whatever the England show is, yeah.
I think that's Forbidden Door in London. Be interesting to see where they go with that. Um, yeah, so overall, I think with AEW, there's a lot to be desired for the weekly TV product for AEW, in my opinion. So much of it seems very forgettable, but I really think that when it comes to these pay-per-views, this is where AEW excels. I
Yep.
think that like if you like me just watch the AEW pay-per-views because I'll admit I don't watch the week-to-week AEW because it's so forgettable and it's just not very interesting to me. So I'm not up on a lot of these stories. But if you watch just the pay-per-views like I do, you would think AEW is one of the best wrestling companies on the planet because they put
Yep.
on excellent pay-per-views all of the time. And I mean, I don't care much for Mercedes Hogan, but that main event was, probably going to be one of the matches of the year. And, the Anarchy in the Arena, while ridiculous, was a lot of fun as well.
Exactly.
So overall, I give this like a B plus, maybe an A minus show.
Yep, I'd give this probably a 4 as well, out of 5. Really, it was enjoyable, and I mean most other than being kind of gross some of the matches, but that's pretty much a given with AEW. They, like you said, you can pretty much count on them to put on a good, albeit a little bit too long, but a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, overall, guys, that was AEW Double or Nothing 2025. What did you guys think of the show? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, please smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any other feedback or any other things you'd be interested in talking about, please let us know in the comments where, we'd love to take your questions. We'd love to talk more about, anything wrestling or anything NFL related. So as always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening and take care.